Good. No. C'est bon. Good.
Great timing, huh?
I'm Louise, an architect from Professional Services, hailing from Montreal, Quebec. Hi everyone from all across Canada. I leave the introduction to my colleague Gabrielle Brochu, who is based in Ottawa. So you can start, Gabrielle, and launch the presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I did listen into the French portion of the Lunch and Learn, and I was very intrigued with some of the things. So I do have some questions for you, but we ran out of time on this one. So we'll go into the Anglophone session. So welcome everyone to the second installment of this Lunch and Learn series hosted by the Internal Professional Services Architectural Team. So as your in-house project specialists, we're always on the lookout for new industry developments that can enhance building management, the quality of our infrastructure, and the types of services that we can provide the clients. So just before we start and dive into the Soprema presentation, which I'm sure a lot of you are very excited to hear, I do want to say a big thank you to Julie Matthews and Louise for putting this together today. I'm just hosting the Anglophone session, but they really did all of the organizing. So thank you so much for putting this together. My name is Gabrielle Bolduc, and I'm going to be hosting today. And from Soprema today, we have three representatives. So we have Sophie Brochu, which is the professional services representative. We have Pierre-André Lebeuf, which is responsible for sustainable development. And we have Jean-François Côté, which is the director of standard and scientific affairs. Did I get all of that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, so together they're going to be presenting how their enterprise approaches sustainability in building envelopes and the technical solutions that they offer. At any time, if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. But I think we're going to try to answer the questions at the end of the session. Correct, Louise?
Yes. You can drop it in the chat or raise your hand if you want to ask a question as we go.
Perfect. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to Sophie, Jean-François, and Pierre-André. Over to you.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be with you today. I'm going to be doing the first part of the presentation and then hand it over to Sophie, and I'll come back for the end. So it's going to be not a single speaker, dull presentation. We hope you enjoy it. Our title says a lot of things: sustainable and innovative solutions for builders. We strive on reaching higher and higher objectives and targets for sustainability at Soprema, and making sure that we're on the forefront of innovation, trying to get the best out of the materials and the solutions that we provide to the market. Going to start with a few fun facts. Well, first the agenda. We're going to be starting about fun facts about the construction industry. Go a little bit. Actually, our whole presentation revolves around Soprema's approach to sustainability in general. We're going to go through some of our tools, sustainable solutions guide, go through the different functions that are highlighted in the guide. We're going to speak briefly about warranties, doing a lot of discussion on transparent declaration and indexes that Soprema has for building certifications. And throughout the presentation, it's going to be filled with some projects and examples and case studies. So Soprema is a century-old company. We've been founded in Europe, in France, in 1908. And today, what we say is that we have diversified a lot from a entirely roofing manufacturer position company back in the 80s. We're offering today a variety of solutions in the different building envelope segments, as well as non-building, such as civil engineering and public works. So we're also diversified from only a roofing membrane manufacturer to an area of waterproofing solutions for air, water, and vapor, insulation, vegetation, acoustics, and soundproofing. So we have a variety of products that fill different needs in all types of or all sectors of the construction industry and beyond. So this presentation is going to be yours to keep afterwards. So you'll be able to see a lot of this. I'm going to go real fast because I think the key discussion or the key messages we want to provide you today are related to sustainability in general and its application to us. Soprema, as a company in Canada, we are above 1,000 employees. We have 14 production plants throughout the country. Of course, the headquarters in Drummondville host that sector hosts a lot of our activity. So we have a lot of concentrated activity in Drummondville, Quebec, where we have our head office, our research center, and some of our plants. But we also have presence throughout the country, either through a manufacturing location or an office where we have sales. We have training centers in most of our sales offices. So we're able to reach our customers and our different types of customers throughout the country with different approaches. Before we launch on the sustainability discussions, we wanted to just highlight why are we even talking about this, because and fun facts are typically a good place to start. We know the construction industry is a huge stakeholder in our country. More than 1.5 million people are working in the construction industry. It's a real locomotive. It's a real big animal in our industry. More than $15 billion invested in construction in 2024 in Canada. So that's a lot. So the impact of that industry must be as well very high. So our approach is to look at what's going on and try to see how can we ensure that what we do as a partner in the construction industry is reducing the footprint of our industry, footprint of our activities. We realize that North Americans, we spend 87% of our time inside. So we are people that live indoors, basically. And that fact makes that the buildings that we are occupying, either for living or working, need to be hosting us, but they also need to be the least disruptive to the environment. And we want to make sure that for what we do at Soprema, we help that trend. The buildings that we occupy and that are existing, or the ones we're gonna build from now on, are also taking up a lot of our resources. 39% of the resources, the minerals, the fossil fuels, and biomass consumed in 2022 were directed to building construction, or operation. So it is a huge impact and a huge creator of consumption of resources, emissions of greenhouse gases. 37% of GHG emissions worldwide should be attributable to buildings, or were in 2022. Because we know that this is a huge impact, we have a vision, and that starts from our corporate position that was initiated in 2018, is to transform the construction industry with sustainable solutions for buildings. So we're always looking at ways for our company and our solutions and our people to hit that vision, and our objectives are based around this. We have three major pillars in our sustainability policy. First of which is environmental protection, striving to reduce our impact on the environment, limit the amount of fossil resources that are being consumed. What it ties really well with our second, which is the fight against climate change, reducing the carbon footprint of our products and the carbon footprint of the buildings where our products are being installed. It's a huge target as well for us. And all of this by improving also human health and well-being, ensuring that the people that are living in those buildings, working in these buildings, have an environment into which they can be safe, and that will not have a negative impact on their health and well-being. On just another fun fact regarding Soprema, very specifically, we have different initiatives such as supporting students and universities, so providing grants in different of those teaching environments. We have different internal goals to help people reducing their own carbon footprint, such as allowing 98% of our employees through Canada have access to charging stations for their electric vehicles. We have an arboretum for our employees, those of us, because I'm counting in those that have more 20 years experience or 20 years of service at Soprema or more have a tree that has been planted on our name at the head office building with a celebration with our hand being imprinted in the concrete at the base of the tree. So it's a recognition. It really is an aspect of social recognition. I believe that tells a story about how do we want our employees to fit well and to be well in their through their career at Soprema. Our policy includes a process or a roadmap for evolution through the sustainable aspects and solution of Soprema. This is the wheel, we call it, and that wheel is basically capped or mimics the life cycle. So we're inspired by the life cycle of products, life cycle of buildings, to have our own roadmap for the Soprema sustainability solutions. And we're going to go into the different steps quite rapidly, but because we would have liked to go into so many more details about everything, but because of the time, we will go into the highlights of each of those sections. It all starts from the center. It all starts from strategic development. Our teams are responsible for product development, systems development, have different goals and different objectives from recycling, integrating recycled components into our products, eco-design. So in the process for product development, we have steps to evaluate in advance projects, what is the potential impact of projects X or project Y, and then selecting which products have, it's not because the project is bad on one aspect that it would be rejected, but it's a whole. So we need to ensure that eco-design is included in our processes so that we know what we're getting ourselves into, what will be the impact on the long term of going for product development of one nature or another. An example of what we did is the example of our plant in Sherbrooke, Quebec, where we are manufacturing our extruded polystyrene insulation board. And since the beginning, when the project was installed, it was clear that we would use recycled polystyrene to fulfill the needs for our production of our insulation materials. And to date, our level of recycled content is 10,000 tons a year, 10,000 metric tons of polystyrene is being routed to our Sherbrooke plant to be converted and recycled into insulation products. So typically what it means is that each polystyrene Sopra XPS board that comes out of our Soprema Sherbrooke plant has up to 70% recycled and recovered content. That means that we do recover our own scraps and reintroduce them in the product, as well as taking product that's coming out from different sources. That could be packaging for your electronics. That could be packaging for food, and in the fisheries industry, they have a lot of necessity to keep the fisheries, for example, the fish at cold temperatures, so they use those buckets of polystyrene. We reuse them, get rid of the smell, and put the product into our process. We also engage with municipalities in order for them to be able to recuperate or to take back and recycle polystyrene from individuals like you and I, and they have eco centers where people can come and deposit their polystyrene. The city of Granby in Quebec has that's been one of our first pilot projects that now works to a capacity of about 20 tons of polystyrene that is recycled every year in that city. So people can come and bring their polystyrene waste. It is being compressed and in order to be shipped to Sherbrooke afterwards. So that allows, the compression is very important, because instead of having 30 trucks full of polystyrene in its nature state, we combine all those 30 trucks into one by compressing the material. So that reduces the impact of transportation of the recycled material as well. And there's a big case study available on our website that covers this if you are interested. The result of this is visible in the Sopra XPS environmental product declaration, the EPD for our product, shows a very nice representation of the collective impact of the different raw materials. 74% account for steps A1 and A2, so the production of raw materials and their transportation. But from this total, we see that the virgin polystyrene, although representing less than 20% of the composition of the products, represents 43% of the impact. As on the opposite end, the recycled polystyrene that is representing 68% of the composition of our product only accounts for 8% of the emissions. This is for carbon emissions for the global warming potential. So there is obviously for us a big benefit in improving the recycled polystyrene content in our product with the different hurdles that are ahead of us, including availability, but also making sure that the product is still performing its intended function and has the durability that we expect from those types of materials. As you can tell, most of the impacts, and that's true for most Soprema products, the carbon impacts for embodied carbon come from the production of the input of raw materials. That's why our teams in research and development have strict objectives and ambitious objectives of reduction of the carbon footprint that are assigned to them, because most of our of Soprema's activities and in the emissions of CO2 come from the raw materials that we choose. Once those materials come to us, well, we have different means of dealing with this, with all this. Our suppliers are evaluated on a biannual basis since 2022. So we're in the second round now. We finished second round last year. So we're evaluating our suppliers on their maturity in terms of sustainability. Obviously, not all suppliers are at the same level and provide us with enough information that as we would like. So we're helping that approach by having them come to us. We have webinars with them so that they can we can try to have them improve their maturity and sustainability. We also have we're lucky. We're in Canada, so our electricity comes from renewable source by 88% in the plants, in the operations, in our warehouses. So this is a very favorable position because of the geographical locations of where our activities are. Something to say about purchasing as well is something that's coming. There is a plant that has been constructed this year, and it's going to be commissioned in the next weeks, pending approval from the Ministry of Environment. It's going to be recycling PET. PET is the plastic that polyethylene terephthalate. That's basically your water bottles and pop bottles. Those bottles are made of PET, and that PET can be recycled through a process. It can be broken down back to its origin components, including polyol, and that polyol will be able to be reintroduced in our production of the polyisocyanurate or Sopra iso insulation material, as well as our spray applied foam insulation, Sopra SPF. So those two insulation materials use polyol in order to manufacture the foam, and we're going to be integrating into those products a recycled content, because we're going to be taking bottles back from recycling centers and integrating. The capacity and our objective is to reach 43,000 tons of plastic recycled every year. It's probably more than we can handle for our products, so we expect that we will also be able to provide polyol materials to other companies that we may be doing business with, and by doing this, improving everybody else's carbon footprint in the same way. One thing that was added to our portfolio about 10 years ago is the recycling of paper and cardboard through our plant in Saint-Julie in Quebec, and now two plants in both Manitoba and Alberta, is the recycling of paper for cellulose fiber insulation. Up to 80% of cellulose fiber insulation is made up of recycled content, which is recycled paper, cardboard, and one thing that is new and exclusive to Soprema is the recycling of glassine. Glassine is that you call it crystal paper. I don't know if it makes sense in English anyway, but that's
a sticker.
Yeah, if you have, if you think of Amazon and Costco, they have big amounts of labels that are being used, stickers, and when you release the label or sticker from its, that's what's left. It's like a glossy paper that had no other use than being landfilled. So now we're able to take that and process it and integrate it into our cellulose insulation. So it helps even further, because we all know that less and less people read newspapers today. So less newspaper is available, and we have to find alternate sources of paper in order to have those insulation materials keep their low carbon footprint. So that helps a lot in that respect. And we have a license to a patent to do this, so we're the only one that can do that. On the production side, so moving along into our steps in manufacturing, we're trying to make sure that we have model production sites. We have 2 of our plants that are LEED certified. The Sherbrooke plant couldn't be because there were some issues very early in the planning stages, but otherwise it would have been, but we just missed it. But nevertheless, there are some functions of the plant that really have been taken from everything that can be done to provide an eco-efficient and favorable to the employees environment. So we have a lot of natural lighting that comes into the plants. Typically, plants have just opaque walls that nobody sees interior. Our plants, 3 that you see here, the one in Sherbrooke that makes polystyrene, our main membrane production plant in Ontario, in Woodstock, and our Drummondville polyiso plant, all have windows where you can actually see the process from the exterior. Of course, we don't show secrets, but we are able to allow our employees to see the light of day when they're working the day shift. And it also has that's just one example of the different aspects that come with our attention to the details regarding production, also including of how energy is being consumed, whatever we can, using renewable energy, and so on and so forth. Next, after our products are being produced, is the sales and distribution network. Of course, there's not as much we can do there. However, we own some of our distribution sites. So, for example, in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, we have an office and warehouse that has been equipped with a photovoltaic solar roof and a solar thermal wall, reducing its carbon footprint by 60%. Yeah, you said, yep. So that is, of course, a warehouse compared to a manufacturing site doesn't emit the same amount, but still, those people in Dartmouth are now very happy and very proud to have their carbon footprint and emission rates reduced because of that, of what we did for them. And of course, we're a national company. We have production throughout the country, but some of our products come from the east, go to the west. We ensure that whatever shipment is made across the country beyond a certain distance will be intermodal. So we will be shipping by train if possible, shipping by boat for exports, and so on and so forth. The next step in the wheel in the life cycle is installation. Is this where I give you the map? So Sophie,
I'll give you a
transition to you. Go ahead.
break. As a manufacturer, we want to make sure that the products that the products and the systems are well installed, and that so we're putting initiatives together to promote the adoption of sustainable installation techniques on this job site construction. Reducing OHS is one of them. So we are promoting different flameless assembly solution, basically to help the workers on job site avoiding any issues with the installation of our products. So we're putting that in more and more ahead when we design, or we help the designers to select systems. Jean-François mentioned training centers that we have throughout the country. While we're able to train the contractors in that sense to make sure that the product are well installed, that they understand also the concepts and the detailings that need to be done to optimize the systems in the whole envelope system that are being installed. We do have webinars, we do have trainings on the website as well to promote that. We're part of different locals association to promote also the goodwill and the good way of installing in general our product, and that elevate also the whole industry when we do that. Another point is that we have a team that assists also on job sites. So that's also part of the training we offer. Research and development also work on reducing the construction site waste. Obviously, we need to deliver the product on job site, so we want them to be in good hand and well protected. But in that sense, we also look into different solutions to reduce the construction site waste of our product when delivered. Different tools are put together to help the designers, but also the whole industry in general. We've put in place different guides. The Sustainable Solution Guide is one of them. It includes all the products and systems offered by Soprema in Canada and that identified as solution that can help promote eco-friendly construction. It includes also indexes of relevant products for sustainable building certification, such as LEED, WELL, Passive House, etc. We also have a Build Better guide that demonstrate the winning ways to increase the energy performances of exterior wall assemblies.
Yep. Just a bit light.
It's okay. Yeah, sometimes there's a pitch. So today we couldn't present all the sustainable solutions, so we've selected some of them. We'll see them from in the next slides. So that's part of the list that you could get on the Sustainable Solution Guide. The guide is available on the website, so you need. Yeah, that's okay. That is available on the website, so you can download it. You need to register. Just make sure that we have your name, and if there's an update done to the guide, that you get the latest version of updates. Sorry, I'm trying to do it in French. No, it doesn't work. The Build Better Guide. Sorry, the switch didn't go well. The Build Better Guide contains tested and approved exterior wall assemblies that meet the National Energy Code of Canada for buildings, requirements for each insulation technology offered by Soprema. The second edition presents ACS thermal clips and demonstrate the considerable improvement in the thermal efficiency of wall assemblies when used. And it also present protected wall assemblies that we see here on the picture. That means CAN ULCS 134 for fire resistance. This combination optimized the thermal resistance because the polyiso that we see named with Soprema gives an R value and a better R value than the other insulation. So it permits the wall to get a total R value increased. So combining both insulation, the Sopra ISO V combined with the wool insulation assure the fire resistance of the wall assembly. And when used with the ACS clips that we see on the picture, it assures the insulation continuity and reducing the thermal bridges. Other solution is the Skywater solution, which is a solution to reduce the storm sewer overflow. Three types of roof. There's a blue roof, which we use for flow reduction, for water retention. The Sopranature vegetated roof for volume reduction and to control the water drainage through the systems. So if we combine both, we get the hybrid roof. So combining both systems by reducing flow rate and the volume as well. We will see on the next slide the system itself. So there's a storage unit underneath the green roof that we see. So it's a combination of drainage boards and the control flow drain that permits temporary water retention. We see here about 15 millimeters of height, which contained 40 to 50 liter per square meters, which can help control the storm sewer overflow in time. So combination of both is called the hybrid roof, and that's throughout the that's part of the SkyWater solution. We see more and more extended warranties being proposed in the industry. When I first started a few decades it was ago, it was more or less 10 years, jumped into 20 years, and now we've seen 40 years warranties have been given for roofing. So it's nice to see that there's an improvement or extended warranties are offered, which means that we're more and more into the higher performance of products being proposed in those systems. So Soprema being part of that, we promote the high performance solutions to designers. Warranties we offer for foundation, for walls, which are mainly covering manufacturing quality of the products. Roofing, we have various solution of or various offer of warranties. We have the product warranty, but we also have a more complete warranty, which includes installation with our certified installers, which means that we cover not only the product, but also the installation throughout the warranty period. To that, we can add various warranty. We have the Soprema warranty, which just covered the SkyWater proposal. So we could add a warranty to the standard roof warranty to permits the removal of, in any case, if there's an infiltration or correction to be done. So to remove the system, to repair and put back the Soprema system afterwards. So we also have mammoth altitude warranty, which is something to be added to the regular complete warranties. No, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
This is more and more looked at by owners and property managers as it gives a clear view of the roof throughout the service of the life of the roof in order to ensure its durability. So mainly it gives a drone view. So we drone view the like a mapping of the building and all the basins. And then we offer, it's part of offering visual analysis, detection of water infiltration as well. Infrared thermography is part of that service. 3D modeling and building to scale, like I mentioned, the mapping of the roofs. It's part of the warranty monitoring report as well. So, and there's an access to the customer portal. This gives a portrait of the building itself to the owner throughout the warranty, but also afterwards for them to invest or to generate the manage, I would say, the correction or the work that needs to be done in the time. We're talking about longevity of our product, of our system. There's different offers. Resurfacing and covering solutions are one of them to extend the useful life of the assemblies. We look also into solutions to facilitate the construction, to increase the reuse and recycling of the materials, of course. And with this, we also look into our research and development to recycle the end of life of those materials. So it's part of our 4R principle. I mentioned recovering. Recovering is one of the solutions we approach with owners and developers and designers. Basically, we keep the existing system, and then we would add a recover board and a new membrane system, or we could replace some of the elements and just add a new system to it. So base sheet and a cap sheet to the new insulation and cover board. Resurfacing is another solution. We see more and more of that. So basically, we want to keep the whole system as one. So the existing system stays there. We do a infrared thermography to make sure that the system in place is adequate. So we make sure that That's one step, and that's done by a third party. And then we can offer the possibility of resurfacing, which is just by adding a cap sheet to the existing system. So it's bringing the original system to longevity without affecting or reducing or adding too much cost to the repair. This solution, I mentioned earlier, the warranty possible, the different warranties offered. There's one called Generation, which permits to add a 10 to 15 years warranty to the existing system. So if we use that and add it to the life cycle, we can go 3 times with this type of warranty. So you bring a normal roofing system to 40 years, and then adding resurfacing 3 times, it brings the life cycles of the original assembly to close to 100 year. So it's kind of interesting to integrate that into our proposal when we meet, especially owners. We see here a case study that reflect that. We have here a mall center in New Brunswick, 175,000 square feet of roof. They thought at first to replace the whole roof system, and then someone brought the resurfacing option. On the right side, you see the benefits of that. Basically, the cost was cut by half, which is probably something that talked to the owner, obviously, but also saving of a week to complete the resurfacing. They came to 26 weeks instead of 40. So taking into account that this building is occupied and used by clients, this is kind of a point that was probably also talking to the owner. The point we want to look at is more about transport in production. If you look, resurfacing involves 5 trucks for that size of resurfacing versus 25 trucks if it would be a complete replacement. Production, we avoided 160 large containers for that project, which if you combine both information here, it brings to a total of close to 70% of a reduction for GHG. So when we meet with them, because I'm part of the spec team, so when we meet with our owners or architects and we evaluate the different options we have, this is something we take into account when selecting the proper system at the original selection when we have a new building, but it's also something we brought up or we bring to the owners or the developer for the longevity and the options they have for their building.
So we're at the end of life, and we're talking about a solution that allows to elongate the service life of the different components of the building. But obviously, at one point, they will have to be dismantled, and the roof is going to have to be replaced. By then, we certainly hope that the recycling of the modified bitumen membranes is feasible. Right now, it is something that is starting in France. We see we have some Soprema facilities that do that, but we haven't implemented that in North America yet. But we monitor closely what they do, and once it is in mature enough state, we will certainly ensure that we implement this as well over here, because definitely we want to be able to help by recycling the products that we have produced, and they are currently on roofs, on buildings, but that also is going to be reducing a lot our input carbon footprint for raw materials, because we're going to be using recycled materials there. So it's going to be a game changer once this is in place. So obviously, the sooner the better. Hopefully before the end of my career at Soprema, and also by way of our technical department, we're also thinking of for roofing applies very well, but also everything else in the building envelope or building closure. How can we develop techniques for installation and for products being in place, but at the end of their service lives can be easily dismantled, so that we can sort and separate materials to enhance the quality of everything that's going to be recycled at the end of life. So those are two other angles that we look at from an end of life standpoint. Beyond our life cycle, the life cycle of products and life cycle of what Soprema does, we want to be as transparent as possible. So that's why we have a range of documents that provide transparent information. Declarations such as EPDs for environmental impacts, such as HPDs for the health and the health impacts of the ingredient disclosure, basically, of the different products that we manufacture. We have a lot of those documents that cover a wide variety of product ranges within the company. We also have more limited number, but still important, recycled content certifications for the products that we manufacture that do have significant contents in recycled content. We've talked about Sopra Cellulose, Sopra XPS that do have high levels of recycled content. We're definitely looking at adding more, but it is always a struggle or challenge because of right now the rules have changed. You can no longer as a company just say, oh, this is recycled, I have recycled content of that. That has to be verified by a third party in order to be credible and avoid greenwashing. Therefore, everything has to go through an official third party certified recycled content certification. And for a product that only has 1 or 2% of recycled content, it may not be the best investment to pay for such a document. So what we're doing is that we're waiting very we're so eager to have our new PET recycling plant up and running so that once this is done, we can have a third party verify that we use whatever percent of recycled content from the polyol into our Sopra ISO and Sopra SPF, and we can then make those claims after verification by a third party. Our insulation lines, all of our insulation materials are covered by a Green Guard Gold certificate, which means that they are recognized to have low VOC emissions and impacts to the indoor air quality. So this is something that we're very proud of. We have the highest level of Green Guard Gold certification for our insulation materials, and we are monitoring this. Every year we're being recertified for our products because this is an ongoing certification that needs to, we need to provide samples of our products that are then evaluated for their emissions of volatile organic components. In the transparency realm as well, we are monitoring very closely what happens with the different certifications for buildings, such as LEED, such as WELL, zero carbon building, and passive house. We have different range of products that do provide solutions to that contribute to some of the credits or some of the requirements in each of those building certifications. So what we're trying to do is to align the products that we make so that the users are informed of what they can benefit from by using the Soprema solutions. And one of the key aspects of this is to look at our different indexes. The LEED certification index is the first here. Basically, in one snapshot, you can see a list of Soprema products and a list of credits or prerequisites in the LEED program, and which products contribute or may contribute to some of these credits. Of course, the materials and resources disclosure, environmental disclosures, EPDs and HPDs are probably the columns that are used the most in that index. HPD has been the way that Soprema has chosen to use to declare health impacts of our products and ingredient disclosure, basically because it's a very self-declaring system. We don't have to go through third party for HPDs, but the program by itself, because of the way HPDs are being developed, imposes a declaration that is somewhat verified by the system. So it has a very interesting appeal to us, and we can have more and more of those HPDs we're trying to have at least every 6 months a certain number of new HPDs produced for the benefit of the users. But also other types of other credits can also be attained by the selection of Soprema products, and we can we can help by providing this information through the LEED certification index. We have the same for the other certifications. The WELL certification, you're probably more familiar than I am with this, but the indoor environment, the air quality, the sound impact, noise, and sound absorption for occupants of buildings, as well as access to nature, and so on and so forth. This is all presented in the WELL certification. If you're looking for a list of products from Soprema that could be providing you with access to credits, this is the way to go. Zero carbon building certification is more of a number game here. What we're doing is we're in one table, taking all the information from environmental product declarations, putting it into the certification in order for people to make very easy early stages determinations and comparisons between the different options, say in roofing systems or insulation systems for walls. So we're providing the upfront carbon, operational carbon, all the embodied carbon portions through the life cycle of our products into this certification in one snapshot. And same goes for passive house certification. This certification is definitely, in our case, geared towards improved air sealing, lower air leakage rates, as well as higher thermal performance by lower U value into buildings. So we're combining information from our Build Better guide and the protected assembly into this index here. So it gives one snapshot in one hand, and you have the Build Better guide on the other hand if you want to make some variations and evaluate different options for your exterior wall assembly construction. We have a very complete and very diversified library of documents in the Soprema Learning Center. On the website, if you go to the soprema.ca and you click on Learning Center, you have access to all types of documents from literature, brochures, videos, webinars, conferences that have been given already that you can use for your own learning programs, and for those who are looking for continuing education credits, some of those can provide you with that self-learning portion. And different there's a whole array of different documents that you can obtain information from on the different Soprema solutions and products. One thing that is in this presentation for the first time here, so you're the first group with the folks that listened to this in French earlier today. Soprema is going to be launching in September information that will be added to our customers' invoices. So for a delivery that is being sent to a customer of Soprema, there will be information added to the invoice. You see it on the lower left-hand side of the invoice. That is the carbon impact of the products that are appearing on that invoice. So what is the embodied carbon number? That is a total of these products, and an appendix is added at the end of the invoice for a rundown of the different contribution of the different products when information is available. So we have the information that's coming straight from environmental product declarations, but also because we have a third-party verified greenhouse gas inventory that we do every year, we're able to have calculations made on products for which we don't have an EPD, and that appears on the document as well. Right now, there's an empty column that's called freight. We're going to be implementing a transportation management system in the next couple of years. That column will be filled with information that so far we're only looking at module A1, A2, and A3 for those of you familiar with life cycle, and we're going to be able to add the A4 and eventually A5 for installation. So we're looking at improving more and more and giving more information to people. Of course, this is downstream for those who have already made the decision. And one addition that we're doing on the website just about the same time, so next month, that's going to be launched as well, is a GHG calculator. We forgot to change the image, so it's it's in French, but it's a GHG calculator that provides you with the amount of greenhouse gas emissions or the embodied carbon that is associated with the products upstream of a decision. So if you're working on a, say, 50,400 square foot area, either it's a roof or wall, and you want to know what's going to be the embodied carbon contribution. For those of you who do whole building life cycle assessment, it's probably very early stages, but for others, that can be something that they have never seen before. So we're constantly improving the communication to our clients through transparency and providing information. And as you can tell from the table on the right, we're going to be providing information both from the cradle to gate as well as complete life cycle or cradle to grave environmental product information there. So that concludes our presentation. We went a little bit over, like 5 minutes, a little bit more, but we're in no rush to leave. This is your time. We invite you with questions that you may have. I don't see any in the chat, but I'll give back the control to Gabrielle. I think that was Gabrielle was our MC.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Very much appreciated. This would be, I think we have 10 more minutes if anyone has any questions or comments for the group. I'll let others go first, obviously.
Yeah, because we know you have one, right?
It's super simple. But yes, I do have one. Okay, well, I will go. So you were talking at the beginning of the presentation about eco centers and places where we can go to recycle polyesterines. Is there a center in the National Capital Region, Gatineau, Ottawa area that the service is offered?
At this point, no. I think we had discussions with Gatineau at one point, but it fell short. We don't have anything there. However, you know, it's getting close to the limit from a distance standpoint from Gatineau to Sherbrooke. So that would be the pretty long distance to cover. One thing that's going to be helpful is that we're also going to have a polystyrene plant in southwestern Ontario that's going to be launched next year. So by that time, we will be able to also have collection systems, hopefully being developed locally as well. But the issue is always for eco centers to have the space to put the first the materials to be able to accommodate them, and then the equipment that is required to compact those materials. So it's always a balance act between space and efficiency in those places.
For sure. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is there anyone else who would have a question?
We did cover some of the questions we had in French into. I did
Yes.
some of them back into it, so maybe it would have been the same questions.
That's good. We have Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. It was quite interesting to see your improvements in sustainability for mod-bit membranes, roof membranes. And I just wonder if you have a chart or some information that compares the various roof membrane types for their sustainability.
What we have that's really easy and immediate is the zero carbon building certification index, which really in one table compares, but that is only for the carbon footprint, the carbon portion. For the other components, we haven't done a comprehensive comparison chart. At this point, the only solution that I would, the only source that I would be able to tell you is to go through the EPDs, which I can recognize that this is going really. I say that finding the needle in a haystack. It's a good suggestion. We might want to sort of have a centralized location where we can have comparisons made on other environmental impacts that would be helpful for our customers. Thank you for the suggestion.
Took a note.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Does anyone else have a question before we adjourn today? I don't think so. Okay, so Julie, Louise, I will I'll give it back to you. I think we are completed for this session. Oh, Marissa?
No, I'm good. No questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard something on the mic.